I never expected that night to be my breaking point. The dining room was warm, filled with the scent of roasted chicken and freshly baked bread. The laughter of my in-laws rang in my ears like a distant echo, hollow and artificial. I sat at the long wooden table, hands resting on my lap, trying to play the part of the devoted husband, the perfect son-in-law. And then it happened. I reached for the serving dish, my elbow barely grazing my mother-in-law's sleeve. She gasped louder than necessary, eyes widening as if I had struck her. The next moment her palm met my cheek, with a force that sent my head snapping to the side. The room fell silent. The sound of my own heartbeat roared in my ears. "How dare you touch me, you disgusting man!" She hissed, her voice sharp as shattered glass. "Clean my dress and get out." I turned to my wife, my partner, my supposed ally. But the betrayal had already bloomed on her face. "Apologize to her," she said, her voice cold, "or leave." The words gutted me. She didn't ask what had happened. She didn't defend me. She didn't even hesitate. I pushed back my chair, my face burning from both the slap and the humiliation. Without a word, I walked out, the weight of their silence pressing against my back. But they had no idea what was waiting for them when they returned home. The drive home was a blur. My hands clenched the steering wheel, knuckles white with tension. The echo of my mother-in-law's words, my wife's indifference, pounded in my skull. Had this always been my reality? Had I been blind to the truth all alone? Memories surged forward, unbidden. The passive-aggressive remarks at family gatherings. The way my wife always took her mother's side. The countless times I'd swallowed my pride just to keep the peace. I had ignored every red flag. And tonight they painted the sky in burning crimson. By the time I reached home, I knew I was done. But I wouldn't just walk away quietly. They had underestimated me, for the last time. I stepped inside our house, the house I paid for, the one my wife and her mother had treated like their personal kingdom, and I got to work. First, I packed my things. Not just the essentials. Everything. Second, I gathered every document, every receipt, every bill, every ownership paper that had my name on it. Third, I made one last phone call. Then I waited. Hours later, I heard the front door creak open. Laughter spilled into the hallway, cruel and carefree. And then they saw the empty spaces. The missing clothes. The hollow shelves. "What the hell is this?" My wife's voice shattered the silence. I stepped into the doorway, arms crossed, watching as realization dawned on her face. "I left," I said, simply. "And so did everything I own her." Mother scoffed, stepping forward as if she still held power over me. "You're acting childish. You can't just—" "I can," I interrupted, voice steady. And I did. My wife's face twisted in panic. "You're overreacting. It was just a misunderstanding." No, I met her eyes for the first time. Seeing them for what they were called, calculating. It wasn't. Her jaw clenched. "You can't leave me," I smiled. "I already did." Then I handed her the final blow, the divorce papers I had drafted weeks ago but never had the courage to use until now. The color drained from her face. "You're serious?" "Dead serious." Her mother lunged for the papers, eyes scanning frantically, searching for some loophole, some way to keep me trapped. But I had planned for everything. "This house," I said, stepping past them, feeling lighter than I had in years, "isn't yours. It's mine. And I want you both out by the end of the week." My wife's scream echoed through the house. "You can't do this." "I already did." And then, just for the final nail in the coffin, I pulled out my phone and hit play. The recording of tonight's dinner, her mother's slap, her insult, my wife's cold demand filled the room. My wife's breath hitched. Her mother turned pale. I had sent the recording to our family, our friends, her work colleagues. Their carefully curated FAO was crumbling. And I walked away, leaving them drowning in their own wreckage. The night air was crisp as I stepped outside. For the first time in years, I felt free. Not just from them. From everything. The weight I had carried, the endless compromises, the silent suffering gone. Justice had never tasted so sweet. And as I drove away, heading toward a future that was finally mine, I allowed myself to do something I hadn't done in years. I smiled.